Madhu Manishi, Madhu Janishi, Madhu Vakshyami, Madhu Matim Yarishya, Madhu Vadishyami, Madhu Matim Devi Bhyovacha Mudhyasagum, Shusrushenyam Manushebhyam, Tangma Deva Bantu Shubhayo Pitaro Namarduntu. From the Yajurveda. I will contemplate only sweet things and produce only sweet things in this world. I will bear only sweet things to others, and I will talk only sweet words. May I speak forth words which are sweet to the gods and which men love to hear. May the gods protect me for imparting the grace of speech, and may the ancestors also bless me so that we can spread this sweetness to all humanity. Om Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace be to all. This morning our subject is Stories of Vedanta Monks, Part 33. As you know, it is a series of talks based on the second generation monks of the Ramakrishna order, who were trained by the disciples of Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. About monks. I remember when I was a little boy, during Rash Purnima, it falls in November, Bharat Sevashram monks would come to our village to collect rice, lentil, vegetables, money. One monk would will carry harmonium and play and sing songs, another will play the drum. And we little boys would carry the cane baskets and followed them and collected rice, lentil, vegetables from the villagers. Then these monks would cook this food, that uncooked food, and feed 7 days, 7 nights to the villagers. And all those 7 days there will be non-stop singing of God's name. I still remember that at the time, I am talking about early 1940s. Then when I came in contact with the Ramakrishna monks in Calcutta and Belur Math, I was very curious about their lives. I was thinking that how the Himalayan monks live in the cave. What do they eat? What do they think? How do they meditate? How they pass their time when they are sick, who looks after them? Or I used to think that how a person can live 100% completely depending on God. That was my curiosity. How? Who provides food, clothing, shelter, all these things to these monks in the Himalayas? I was curious. Then I read in the Bhagavad Gita, in the chapter 9, verse 22, Ananyashintanto mam ye jana purjupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam bhamyam. Krishna says, Ananyashintanto, with one pointed mind, those who meditate on me, worship me. I carry what they need. I provide food, everything for them. That is God's promise to all of us. I visited Uttarkashi, Rishikesh, Gangotri, and saw the monks how they live. And sometimes I wish to interview them. Please tell me your routine. From morning till night, what do you do? Well, we meditate, then we read some scriptures, then we go and bake food. And in the evening also, of course, there are some places you will get food once a day, and some places twice a day. And I saw some monks even cook some food. All the time they are busy about themselves. That life did not attract me. I followed Swami Vivekananda's ideal. Atmanamokshartam jagodhithaya cha. You lead your life for your own liberation and for doing good to humanity. When you take food, clothing from the society, you must serve the society. You must serve people. Shivogane Jivu Shiva, serve human beings as God. That ideal of Swamiji attracted me, which made me a monk. Very interesting that how we get attracted to the monastic order. As I said, those are all wonderful monks, but they are busy about themselves. Holy company is very important in spiritual life. When we are depressed and don't find any way out from our problems, we go to the holy people and ask their guidance, their direction. In the Mahabharata, this question arose. Sages are many. Their opinions are also many. The scriptures are many. But tread that path which was trod by the illumined souls. Mahajano gatasya pantha. That path is the true path, which was followed, walked by the spiritual illumined people. I have several volumes, I think 11 or 12 volumes of Bharatir Sadhu, sages of India. I think some years ago I started to give a series of talk. They walked with God. The sages of India. I used to read their fascinating life stories. Their dependence on God, renunciation, purity, love and longing for God, their wisdom. They are very fascinating to me. I shall tell you three stories of three great saints to you before I start my subject. First, Sadhu Haridas, who used to live in Nidhubon at Vrindavan. Still, his ashrama is there inside Nidhubon. A great lover of God and a great singer. Tanshen, many of you know the famous musicians, was a court musician of Emperor Akbar, the Mughal emperor. One day Akbar asked Tansen, you sing very well, but I'd like to hear your guru singing. Who is your guru? Well, my guru is Sadhu Haridas, who lives in Vrindavan. Bring him here in Delhi, in my court. Oh no, he will not come. Akbar was very humble. He said, then I shall go to him in disguise. So both Akbar and Tansen came to Nidhuvan and met Sadhu Haridas. So Tansen requested that please sing a song for us. He said, I am too old, you sing, you are young. So Tansen began to sing, and purposely, intentionally. True Guru cannot just stand any mistake of his disciple. So immediately he corrected Tansen and demonstrated him that how to sing that song. Thus, Tansen Haridas forgot the space, time, and completely absorbed in singing, glorifying God. Even the peacocks began to dance. And Emperor Akbar was overwhelmed. Then, when the song was ended, Tansen introduced Emperor Akbar to his guru. Then Akbar asked him, please ask some gift from me. I am the emperor. Oh, I don't need anything. Please ask at least a couple of things from me. Well, first thing you do, there are many monkeys in this place and they do not get food. Please arrange to feed these monkeys. Granted. Ask second thing from me. Do not come to see me again. While returning, Akbar asked Tansen, you sing or Guru sing, what a difference. Tansen replied, O king, I sing to entertain you for money, but my Guru sings for God. That story I cherish. It is a beautiful story. The second story is another Haridas. He is called Jovan Harida. He was a Muslim from Bangladesh, now East Bengal. He began to chant Krishna's name, being a Muslim. So the Muslim ruler became very angry. He told him, stop it. You should not chant Hindu God's name. He said, I cannot just stop it. Then as a punishment, the local ruler asked his guards that beat him in 22 places and each place give him 22 lashes. That is the punishment. So he was beaten up in 22 places, but he did not die. And the guards were thinking, my goodness, we are persecuting, beating this holy person, we shall incur sin. So they told Haridas, you know, we shall not do anything, you please go away. You jump into the river, and then we shall inform that he jumped into the Ganges, and that way we shall be able to satisfy the local ruler. So he did it, and then he came and built a beautiful cottage in Benapole, which is near the border between India and Bangladesh. There also the local Jamindar became very jealous because most people are flocking to him and nobody was coming to him. So he engaged a courtesan to entice him and bring him in the worldly plane. Then that girl came in the evening. Haridas told her, I cannot talk to you right now. You please sit down and I shall repeat my mantra. When it is over, then I shall talk to you. So he started to repeat mantra from sunset to sunrise. Then that girl could not get any chance to talk to him, left. This thing happened 3 days, 3 nights. And then finally, this girl's mind was changed, listening continuously God's name from this holy person. Then she told Haridas, I am a sinner. This local Jamindar, this Ramchandra Khan, engaged me to tempt you. Please forgive me. Haridas said, I knew it on the first day, but I stayed here 3 days, 3 nights only for you, to change your life. Now, I am giving my rosary to you, and take my cottage, and repeat God's name. I am living right now. Bas, Haridas left, and that courtesan became a saint. Later on, Haridas joined with Chaitanya, became his disciple. He died in Vrindavan. Still there, his ashram is there in Swargodhar. I visited few times. There you will hear God's name 24 hours. Now around the clock, the devotees sing God's name in that ashrama. Beautiful, beautiful atmosphere. Swargodhar. Haridas's ashrama. Next is a Christian monk, Saint Thomas Aquinas. I have a book called Galaxy of Saints, all the famous Catholic monks, their life stories. He was born in 1226 in North Italy, in a royal family. He was brilliant. At the age of 12, he went to the University of Naples. He learned Latin and joined the Dominican order. His father was very mad. He asked the Pope, please release my son. Pope asked him to do something, so he ran away. He was going towards Paris. On the way, he was kidnapped by his father's guards and brought in the home. His brothers and sisters all requested him to change his mind, but he didn't. So they all put him into a dungeon in the palace, in the basement, and he says, no, I cannot give up my monastic vows. 18 months he was in that captivity. Once his brothers sent a beautiful girl to him to entice him. The moment the girl entered in his room, he took a blazing brand and attacked that girl, just to frighten her. That girl screamed and ran away. And finally, one of his brothers thought that they gave him only bread and water, nothing else, for 18 months. Bread and water. But no, nobody can change his mind. So one of his brothers, out of compassion, arranged his escape, and he ran away. He became one of the greatest writers of the canon, Catholics, all the laws and rules of the monastics. became very, very famous, Saint Thomas Aquinas. One day when he was praying in the chapel, he heard the voice, Thomas, you wrote beautifully. You have written well of me, Thomas. What would you have a reward? Thomas replied, only thyself, Lord. He died in 1274. These fascinating stories of these great monastics and the saints inspire us. Their love and longing, their devotion, their genuine sincerity inspire us. Now I shall start my subject. প্রাচীন সাধুদের কথা পার্ট 2, page 232. Today first we shall start with Swami Ramakrishnan, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Harida, Vishwaranjan Maharaj, most probably I met him in 1977 in Benares. He was lying down in bed upstairs. I still remember. But I had no chance to talk to him. He was quite old. Swami Brahmananda's disciple, Swami Brahmananda asked him, you go to Madras and stay 1 year with Ramakrishnananda. So he went to Madras and get good training from him, because he was a great disciplinarian. So Vishwaranjan Maharaj went, his monastic name is Hariharananda. Went to Madras, and when 1 year passed, Swami Ramakrishnananda asked him, now you go back to Belur Math. Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda sent me to you. Your Guru told you 1 year. So 1 year passed, now you go. He was helpless. You must follow your Guru's words. You do not know how much we have respect for Swami Brahmananda. So he came back to Belur Math. Swami Brahmananda said, why did you come back? Well, Maharaj, you asked me to stay there 1 year. Swami Ramakrishnananda forced me to return to Belur Math. Then Swami Sharadananda was there. He said, from his childhood, boyhood, Ramakrishnananda has great respect for truth. Truth. He would always keep his words. That is very important, I tell you frankly, not only spiritual life, but in family life, in the life in this world. You must keep your words. You must be true to your words. Otherwise, you will lose the integrity of your character. Integrity of character. People know this man is whatever he says, he follows. Man of truth. That is lacking now in this modern world. We see people lie right and left. They do not keep their words. These things we must learn from these holy people. Swami Vishwaranjan Maharaj wrote in his memoirs, one night I was fanning Swami Ramakrishnananda in Madras. Madras is a very hot place, They say they have only 3 seasons. Hot, hotter, hottest. They have no winter. One night at 2 o'clock he got up. He changed his cloth, washed himself, changed his cloth, and going to the shrine, opened the windows of the shrine of Sri Ramakrishna's bedroom and began to fan to the master's picture which was on in the bed. Until morning he fanned the master. Then Swami Ramakrishna, Swami Hariharananda asked, Maharaj, could you tell me what happened? You know, when I put master to bed after dinner, there was a ocean wind, sea wind was blowing. So I closed the windows and put the master to bed. At 2 o'clock I found there is no more wind and I felt hot. So I opened the windows and began to fan the master so that master could sleep. You know, when we read these stories, we find how much they identified themselves with Sri Ramakrishna. That is called transformation. When he would repeat the mantra as if Sri Ramakrishna was listening his mantras. When Sri Ramakrishna is alive, the amount of time he would just spend for food, same amount of time he would keep while offering food in the shrine. You would think master was leaving. And early in the morning he used to cut a twig and thrash it so that master can brush his teeth. Sometimes he used to make some luchi, fried bread, burning a stove. One luchi he will fry and offer to Sri Ramakrishna. Master loved hot food. Cold, stale food Sri Ramakrishna did not like. After offering food, he used to put Sri Ramakrishna to bed and fan him. He told the assistant monks, don't think master picture, it is a mere picture. Master is living. He had diabetes, but he would eat rice and sometimes some sweets. Well, master did not eat bread. The doctor prescribed bread. What master ate, that I shall eat. And that increased his diabetes. This is the way he teaches his body to demonstrate to the monks how to treat Sri Ramakrishna. Toward the end, he developed tuberculosis, galloping TB. Sometimes it was in Calcutta and Udbodhan, and that this Swami was his attendant. But sometimes I would see that he was rolling on the cement floor and crying to Sri Ramakrishna. I would fan him. Sometimes he would say, this body never committed in sin, then why do I have this disease? He could not eat food. Amazing stories. He passed away in 1911. Reminiscences of Swami Ramakrishnan by a South Indian devotee. He was a young person at that time. In 1906, I was a student of Hindu college in Tirunelveli. At that time, I met Swami Ramakrishnan and Swami Abhedananda who visited us. 1906. There was a club on the bank of the Tamrapurni river, Banner Pet Library Club. Swami Vedanta gave the lecture. And he mentioned there is no founder of Hindu religion. It is true. Christianity, Christ was the founder. In Islam, Muhammad is the founder. In Buddhism, Buddha was the founder. But in Hinduism, there is no founder. Then I went to Madras in Triplicane and stayed in a Jabuchi's house, in one of my relatives' house, and went to the university. And it was very close to Ramakrishna Math, Malapur, Madras, Chennai. And there I met Ramakrishnan several times. First time he asked, where do you come from? Triplicane. Oh, there is a Parthasarathi temple there. Do you go there? He asked. Yes, sometimes. Listen, young man, that Parthasarathi is a living God. Many people had vision. You must go to the temple. His words penetrated this young student. Then he says, I shall introduce to you to an American woman, Sister Devamata, Laura Glenn, at that time was living in Madras with Swami Ramakrishnan. Then he says, are you married? Yes. You know, here I see this young people get married in a very early age. Then he gave an advice to him. Very beautiful. Always see your wife as a daughter of God. Second, respect her, fulfill her wish, and always try to make her happy. Being a monk, he is giving advice how to lead a good married life. It is in Manu Gita. Jatra najyastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha. Jatraitastu na pujyante sarva tatra afala kriya. I shall read a few passages from Manu Gita, the Laws of Manu. Thousands of years ago, how the Hindu lawgivers gave instruction how to make marriage life joyful. It is chapter 3, verse 56 to 62. Where women are honored, there the gods are pleased. But when they are not honored, no sacred rite yields rewards. When a Vedic sacrifice, rituals, women are unhappy, you are practicing rituals. Where the female relations live in grief, the family soon wholly perishes. But that family, where they are not unhappy, ever prospers. The houses on which women, not being duly honored, pronounce a curse, perish completely, as if destroyed by law of magic. Hence, men who seek their own welfare should always honor women on holidays and festivals with gifts of ornaments, clothes, and dainty food. In that family where the husband is pleased with his wife and the wife with her husband, happiness will assuredly be lasting. For if the wife is not radiant with beauty, she will not attract her husband. But if she has no attractions for him, no children will be born. If the wife is radiant with beauty, the whole house is bright. But if she is destitute of beauty, all will appear dismal. Anyhow, these are the, similarly as the husband has duty for the wife, wife has the duty for the husband. In the Mahanirban Tantra, if you read Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga, there it has been prescribed. Each person in the household has duty. Father has his duty, mother has his duty, husband has his his duty, wife has her own duty, children have duty, the teachers have duty. A duty. You must follow your duty. Then there will be harmony in the family, in home. You know, sometimes selfishness, cruelty we find in the family, and ruin peace and joy. We know children in broken family, how they suffer in this country. Unbearable, unthinkable. Family life is very, very important. These Hindu lawgivers say, among these 4 stations, the 4 stages of life, Brahmacharya, student's life, Garhastha, family life, Vanaprastha, life of the recluse, and Sannyas, monastic life. Among these 3 groups of people, only householders earn money. And they are the basis of the whole society, stronghold of the society. If the family life is shaky, the whole society is shaky. It is true. Family life. They will produce great children, great citizens, great monks. So Swami gave the advice that how to have peace and happiness in family life. This devotee wrote in his memoir that, you know, when that monk told me about the Garhastha Dharma, family life, the duty of a family life, it penetrated into my mind. When I was leaving, he gave me a coconut ball as prasad of Sri Ramakrishna. Then he mentioned that so many people pass through the street by the side of our ashrama. Few people come. And I give this prasad to them. I cannot afford to buy fancy food. Just coconut ball, very cheap. That I give to these people. It was offered to Sri Ramakrishna, and this prasad will bring devotion in their minds. Sometimes, at that time, he was suffering from terrible poverty. No money. Sometimes no food. Then he says, I may be very unfortunate. Everybody may leave me, but Sri Ramakrishna will never leave me. He will bring everything for me. Then some devotees came forward and helped the Swami. Later, when a devotee made a remark that he was sleeping in bed, what kind of monk is this, you know? What kind of austerity this is? Is he an austere monk? Swami Ramakrishnan heard that comment and told that devotee, tell that devotee that Sri Ramakrishna did all austerity for me. Once there was another holy person came in Madras. So some young people are asking questions and evaluating his intellectual questions, scriptural questions and all those things. But Swami Ramakrishnan recognized that he was a great illumined soul. So he told the young people, hey, what are you doing? Ask him question about the spiritual life with humility. Then the monk said to Ramakrishnan, why are you praising me? But Swami, these people could not recognize you. This monk, this devotee wrote, only a holy person can understand a holy person. Sri Ramakrishna also said, only A jeweler understands the value of a jewel, not the eggplant seller, not the cloth merchant. Johuri, Johor, Chene. Only a spiritual person can understand the value, the depth of a spiritual person. Sometimes Swami Ramakrishnan would tell some stories. He says the man has a habit to take opium. And he could not get rid of the bad habit. So Ramakrishnan told their story. How much opium you take a day? They said this much quantity, this quantity. Then he took a chalk, as they write on a board. This chalk, all right, this size of chalk, this amount of opium you must take every day. Yes. The chalk, the chalk, the chalk size of opium, and every day you must give a mark on the wall with the chalk. In this way, every day the chalk was dwindling, it was decreasing, diminishing, and finally the chalk size became very small, almost nothing. So his habit of taking opium also became nothing. The Swami said, this is the only way you can get rid of your habits, bad habits. Once he went to Trivandrum. Trivandrum is in Kerala. We have a big center there. So a devotee invited him for lunch. So his wife served food. Swami said, whatever you want to offer me, please put it on my banana leaf plate. So this devotee served all kinds of food on the leaf plate. And Swami started to repeat mantra and offered to Sri Ramakrishna the food. Meanwhile, this devotee, this woman devotee, forgot to give some ghee, clarified butter. And said, Swami, please forgive me, I forgot to give ghee. Well, no, I already offered food to Sri Ramakrishna. Today, Master will have to take this food without ghee. He was very, very strict. Perhaps if we are there, we would compromise. He was an uncompromising monk. Then one day he went to Trivandrum, a Padmanabha Swami's temple. Only the Brahmins are allowed inside. So when he was a Brahmin. So when he was trying to enter the temple, the priest stopped him. Are you a Brahmin? Then he said, Naha manushya nacha deva jakshau, na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudraha, na brahmachari, na grihi vanastaha, bhikshur nachaham nijabodha sharupaha. I think it is Hastamalakacharya's statement to Shankara. It is a very, very beautiful story that I am not going to tell that story today. So he is saying, Naham Manushya. I am not a man, nor God, nor other beings. I am not Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, no caste. I am not brahmachari, I am not householder, I am not man of recluse or a monk. Nijabodha Sharupa, I am the Atman. I am consciousness. Seeing his sublime, calm face and magnanimous personality, and his conviction, the priest could not stop him. He entered inside. It happened another story that in Meenakshi temple, Swami Brahmananda wanted to go inside to bow down to Mother Meenakshi. So the priests tried to ask that he is a Brahmin. Swami Ramakrishnan scolded Maharaj and said, all over. He is an illumined saint. The way he shouted and took Brahmananda inside. Nobody could stop them. One day he was uprooting some thorny plants from the courtyard and asked another monk also to clean the courtyard. Then he said, you see, the other day I saw Sri Ramakrishna was walking in this courtyard. These thorny plants may prick his feet. That is the reason I want this place should be free from the thorny plants. I am telling these stories to tell you that how Sri Ramakrishna's disciples would feel the presence of God, feel the presence of their Guru. One young devotee, Madrasi devotee, lost his wife. He had 2 children. He came to Swami Ramakrishnan, was very sad, grief-stricken. Swami Ramakrishnan consoled this young man and said, look, one person left, but she left 2 persons to you. Now raise these 2 children. Death is not in human hand. Serve these children. She gave to you. Well, that consoled this young man. He changed that person's mind. An aged person came to Ramakrishnan. It was in Madras. Well, in the scripture says that women are responsible for bringing down the men from in the spiritual life. These scriptures are written by men. But if women would write the scriptures, they would write the reverse, that men are responsible for bringing women down to the worldly plane. Swami Ramakrishnan listened and just smiled a little and just said, look, Sri Ramakrishna used to tell men, Kamini Kanchan Maya. Stay away from lust and gold. Kamini, some people interpret as women. Again, to the women devotees, Sri Ramakrishna says, stay away from Purusha Kanchan, men and gold. The devotee was very satisfied with Swami Ramakrishna's explanation and left. One day he was reading the Walter Scott's fiction, and the devotee was thinking, why being a monk he is reading a fiction, English fiction. When he expressed that thing to Ramakrishnan, the Swami replied, you know, I left college and devoted my whole time to the Master and served him. Then when Master passed away, I was in Baranagar Math, fully busy with worship and service to the Master. I did not get any chance to study. But now I am in Madras. I will have to give lectures, write books. So I am revising my English language and literature, and so that I can speak well, I can write well. That man was very moved. I said, yes, he's a genuine monk. Beautiful stories. Next story, Srima Holy Mother's Reminiscences and Vivekananda's Reminiscences by Swami Bodhananda. I got this Swami Bodhananda ji. He was in New York, Vedanta Society of New York from, I think, 1908 to 1950. He came, when of the students, he came in contact with this Ramakrishna disciples at that time in 1892. And at that time, Swamiji was in the wandering in Puribrahja life, then he was in America anyhow. So he was writing his reminiscences about Holy Mother. It was in 1892, I went to Jairambaji with Swami Ramakrishna, Swami Niranjanananda, Subodhananda and Girish Ghosh, Birajananda and Nirbhayananda. I bowed down to the mother. Mother asked me, "My son, how are you?" That is the first time I saw Mother. And every day we used to see Mother, and Mother gave me an opportunity to roll the chapati with a roller, with pin. I used to make chapati and Mother used to bake it. Then in 1893, in Nilambar Babu's house, Mother stayed, and Swami Yogananda was her attendant. Sometimes, briefly, I met Holy Mother, but one day at 3 o'clock I was in the veranda. Mother came from upstairs, and Mother initiated me, gave me a mantra, and demonstrated how to repeat mantra on the finger. In 1898 and or 1899, Swami Yogananda one day asked me, take Mother and Golapma to Kalighat. Mother used to live in Bagbazar area, North Calcutta, and Kalighat, 10 to 12 miles from Bagbazar to Kalighat. So a horse carriage was hired. Mother and Golapma sat inside, and I sat on the top. Swami Bodhananda says, his reminiscences. I sat on the coachman on the top. Then we reached Kalighat. Mother and Golapma went to take bath into the Kali Ganga. It is a small tunnel, a canal. It came from the main Ganges and flowed near the Kalighat. Then Mother, in the meantime, I brought flowers and other puja articles, which Mother took and entered the Kali temple. She performed the worship, encircled the Kali's image for 3 times, and then she came to the room where we are just temporarily stayed near a shop. I bought some pap rice and some beguni for the Mother, which was he was very fond of that for lunch. Beguni means, do you know what do they do? They slice, very thin, slice the eggplant like this size. And they make the batter. Batter is besan. Besan is lentil powder. In that powder they may put some water and some ginger powder and some black cumin. And then they dip this eggplant in that batter and then fry it. That is called beguni. Very tasty. And they put, of course, some salt also there. So that Mother took and Golapma and had lunch, and then we came back to Bagbazar. Before Belur Math was consecrated, Swami Sharadananda wrote a letter to ask Holy Mother to come to Belur Math and sanctify that place. So he came with that letter, and Swami Yogananda asked Holy Mother, and Holy Mother said, yes, I shall go. You know, Holy Mother came to Belur Math, and the place she first put her feet on the bank of the Ganges. The disciples took that earth, put it in a casket, and kept it in Belur Temple. It is still in Belur Temple. In the inner sanctuary, right side, there is a niche, there is a small basket. There you will find that Holy Mother's, that the earth touched by Holy Mother's feet. Every day the monk will put a flower there, worship it. In 1899, we went to Jairambachi. Swami Brahmananda asked us, with 3-4 people went. Mother said, Brahmananda said, don't stay long. It is hard for Holy Mother to take care of the Calcutta devotees in that remote village. In 1899, Swami Yogananda died. One day Yogananda told me, Haripada, his pre-monastic name, Bodhananda's pre-monastic name, could you ask Mother that whether she could see me in the afternoon? So Bodhananda went, and Mother said, yes, I shall go and see him. So in the afternoon, Mother came downstairs. Mother used to live upstairs, and Yogananda downstairs. Came and saw him. For a few minutes, Bodhananda went out from the room. And then when Mother went back to her room, Bodhananda entered and saw Yogananda was crying. But Mother blessed me. He wrote another story that I went to. Mother was coming from Jairambachi to Calcutta. Do you know how? From Jairambachi to Barjuan by bullock cart. And Jairambachi and Barjuan to Calcutta by train. At the time there was train, 60 miles. And this was maybe 32 miles, bullock cart. So Maharaj knew that Mother was coming, so he asked Bodhananda to go to Barjuan and try to fix lunch for her before she arrives. So he went there, and Mother came and had lunch, and then she came by train. I was thinking that how the disciples of her mother, of Sri Ramakrishna, looked after Holy Mother with great care. And Swami Trigunatitananda, of course, escorted Mother. I shall tell you one story of Trigunatitananda. Mother's bullock cart, he found there is a ditch, and the bullock cart, the wheel, if it jerks and Mother was sleep will break. Do you know how do they go in the bullock cart? There is a canopy, there is a cover there, and on the it is a wooden or bamboo platform, bamboos or wooden platform. Over there they put some straw, and over the straw they put a bed sheet, and over the bed sheet you can lie down. So Mother was taking a sleep at night time. When the bullock cart was moving, he saw a ditch. He was thinking this jerk will break Mother's sleep. So he told the driver, let me lie down and let the bullock cart wheel go over my body so that Mother's sleep will not break. Anyhow, by chance, Mother got up and came to know about his plan and scolded him right and left. Just I'm telling you that how much love this person had for the Mother. I remember I heard a story. This Trigunatitananda came to San Francisco in January 1903, after Swamiji's passing away. And once Sri Ramakrishna Swami, Sharadananda wrote to him that we have some financial problem for mother, please, if you can help. So he had $300, and all his entire money he sent to Holy Mother, and wrote to Swami Ramakrishna, to Sharadananda, I do not know what food I shall get tomorrow, but whatever I had, I gave to the mother. How much love they had for the mother. There was another funny story that when coming back from Jayarambaji, our Trigunathidananda went to a hotel. Hotel is that if you give it, perhaps 8 annas or 8 annas, you can eat as much as you can. So he went to the hotel owner that, I eat a little bit too much, a little bit more. So, well, what, it doesn't matter, you eat. So he started to eat. Whatever food was there, all rice, lentil, vegetable, all the whole food he finished. Then the owner came with folded hands, told him, Swamiji, I shall not charge any money from you, please you leave. He was some Siddhai. He could eat, and again some days he could fast without food. He's a great monk. So my time is over, so I shall stop here today. I told you a little bit about Ramakrishnananda and Holy Mother, and in my next talk, Swami Bodhananda's Reminiscences of Swamiji. That I shall tell you in my next lecture on this subject. Thank you. Bang me manasi pratishitam, mano me vachi pratishitam, abir ma yedhi, vedaisamanistam, shritang me ma prahasiranena ditena ratram samdadami, ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tad mama bhatu, tad bhaktaram abhatu, abhatu mam, abhatu bhaktaram. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May my speech be one with my mind. May my mind be one with my speech. O thou self-luminous Brahman, remove the veil of ignorance from before me, so that I may behold the light. Do thou reveal to me the spirit of the Scripture. May the truth of the Scriptures be ever present to me. May I seek day and night to realize what I learned from the sages. May I speak the truth of Brahman. May I speak the truth. May it protect me. May it protect my teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all.